have the fucking stream starting soon thing. There we go. Now it's covering everything. Sure. I'll just like fucking edit all this shit. It's your mom. I gotta edit that too. Her mom might just show up. Oh, this is interesting. Look what Dave's doing.
But she speaks English.
She speaks like Mickey Mouse. Alright. Let me know when you guys get into the chat of the Twitch channel.
Oh, I've been there.
I've been there a half hour ago.
Yeah, I'm just watching everything.
Don't worry about me. I'll just be here, but yeah. Well, no, I'm not on Twitch.
You'll be there. You're good where you're at. Alright, babe, make sure you spam the whole thing. Better sign in.
You shut your face.
Okay, never mind. I want to get swung at on the stream.
Might get some views on that one.
Like a shit ton after that. So you actually see the... Yeah, I see it now too. Stream's starting to. You hear the music in the background a bit? Or you already muted it? Okay.
I muted it. They want to do feedback.
I think like what was it? I was trying to stream with Templar in the room and whatnot, and like Templar was saying some shit. I forgot what he said, and then at the same time I had like some weird commercial, and the commercial kept rolling waves into the stream onto the headsets.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like, I forgot what was it. Like, the guy said some dumb shit. I think it was about taxes or Geico. No, it was
a Geico commercial.
It was like, something about like, oh, you can't do anything about this commercial because it's already over. And then Templar was saying some shit, and it just kept repeating over and over. And it was like a nightmare. Like,
oh
shit was
shit!
fucking legit.
That's crazy.
Already in bed? All right. I think we should. Let's see. Hey everyone, this is the PSG podcast episode 1. The first one was an alpha beta. We are here today to basically talk about everything that we've experienced. It's been over a week now for the division, and we're pretty much going to cover a shit ton of stuff that's going on. I have here Frozone and Templar. Say hello, guys.
What's going on, guys?
Yo.
Very dramatic. Anyways, pretty much what was it? We're just going to cover a couple of topics here and there and whatnot. I do want to start off with the fact of, I'm going to pop off the first question. How is everyone enjoying this game? Frozone, go.
Not really too many things that I cannot say about enjoyment. I have slaved my life away to this game. I'm doing two-a-days again. Did I tell you that? That I'm doing two-a-days on this game? And if people that are athletes know what two-a-days are, it's when you do something twice a day. So I come home from work, I play, I go to sleep, and I purposely wake up early to play again before work. So, yeah, I think that kind of sums it up.
All right, Templar, how are you enjoying the game, Ubisoft hater?
Oh, it's their track record, but I'm loving it. A lot of it is it's a breath of fresh air in not just like I don't want to call it a third-person shooter because it's not. It's just something different and unique, and it's enjoyable. It's good loot-based game. It's got it looks amazing, just absolutely amazing. Every time I log in, it's like just some other moment where you're, wandering the streets of New York and you're like, holy shit, this is just phenomenal looking. Um, the gameplay is tight. The way everything works together has been very good. It's just to me, it's a surprisingly enjoyable game because I was very much cynical and on the fence about it, and I've enjoyed it completely.
Good. All right, my whole opinion about it, I was already a fan the moment I saw something come up. I wanted to be in New York City. I wanted the modern thing. I wanted the RPG elements. I wanted online because I already knew how online was effective amongst our group RGC. To see that put together in Destiny and every way it was formed, to see it actually put back together in the Division, it's been amazing. I love the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got the season pass and everything. I'm all in. That's it. So we have the story, which is basically. No, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm not even the story guy for this. I'm gonna give this one to Frozone. What's going on in the Division? Why are we in New York City? What's going on?
So pretty much what happens is Black Friday weekend, everyone's out shopping, doing the things that they want to do. And allegedly, there is a mad scientist or, whatever you want to call him that comes up with this bright idea to release a genetically altered version of what we know as smallpox. If you don't know about smallpox, it was eradicated, a couple of decades ago. With different vaccines, and smallpox is highly, highly contagious. So anyway, this spreads. It turns New York City into a state of chaos. It starts shutting things down. Like, it doesn't hit like the zombie apocalypse. Like, people start coughing, symptoms are spread, it's airborne, it's getting all over the place. They lock down New York City, obviously, the law enforcement. And once they realize that they can't contain it, the military comes in, all these different federal agencies come in, and they still can't contain it. So then, once it gets to that point of no man's land, the president has to make a decision, President of the United States, and he activates what's called Directive 51. And that's when the division gets activated. It's pretty much your last line of defense. Sleeper agents get launched in New York City to say, hey, we need you guys to secure the area, bring law and order back to the city, and try to recover it. And in the beginning parts of the game, the first team that goes in, they start to lose communication with that team. So you, joining the division, you get activated as the second wave to go in and investigate what's going on with the first team. That pretty much sums it up in the beginning.
So there you have for the story. The story is pretty legit because it's possible. That's what I like about the Tom Clancy randomness. Everything. I'm not a fan of Tom Clancy. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is almost like the Star Wars situation I had. I'm not a fan of it. I liked Rainbow Six for a little bit. I'm not too into the whole strategic stuff and the tactical randomness. I'm not a very strategic guy to begin with. But I love what they came up with in the Division. I love how the story is realistic. I love how it fits up in New York. I love how everything was well put together. And there's just so much more that I'm hoping we're gonna see as far as the story. I hope the story actually progresses. But we're going to go into the gameplay randomness of this, because the gameplay is what's going to hold it together, right, guys?
I think so.
Yeah, completely.
Right. Oh, is it? I already know that there's going to be I think there's supposed to be a 1.1 patch note situation. It's going to give us is that going to be in April?
Yes, I do believe that's next month.
Is that the one that's going to consist of the squad trading, the incursions, and all that?
Yeah, I think Temp was talking about. We were talking about it a little bit earlier while we are in the green room, and the trading. We don't really think it's just going to be like a flat out. Oh, hey, look, it's you, and then me. I have something that you want. You have something that I want, or I can just give it to you. I do believe that it's more of like you're in a squad together. And it's kind of like one of those, I got an item that I really don't need just now, and I'd rather give it to you type of thing. But I know that's one of them, and then something about some cool end game stuff for us to do, further that gameplay.
Any input on that, Templar?
Not really. I mean, it's pretty much how Frozen described it. I mean, from what I read and from what he's seen, it's going to be a lot more of a whole like, oh hey, you want this, drop it, and then pick it up, and it's only going to register if it's something that was in your group while you were there and you'd be eligible for it. So a lot of not being able to like, oh hey, I got something. Oh, you weren't there. I got this cool gun here. Let me give it to you. Yeah, it's going to be it's like a you were involved in the kill type thing, but you didn't see it. So now, think of it like raid loot in an MMO, or something that uses like master looting or something like that, to where, or Diablo 3. That's actually probably just the best way to describe it. It's going to probably be like Diablo 3 loot. Hey, I didn't see you got some awesome legendary, but if I chunk this on the ground, then yeah, you could get it.
Because I know there was something like that along the lines of World of Warcraft has a system like that. What was it? Because
well, that had the direct trade.
Not direct trade. We're not. What was it? We're talking about. What was it? The squad trading that they're gonna do. Like how you're talking about. Like you have to be involved in the actual situation. Like you have to be inside the mission. You have to be there when it all goes down. So let's say it's us three inside that mission. We go in, and I get, let's say for example, the Midas. I think that's like the most talked about weapon at the moment. I don't know. There's probably others right now. I get it. I don't need it. You need it. I can give it to you, but I can't give it to what was it? Let's say Prophetic if he wasn't around, because he wasn't a part of the squad. So that's what I'm assuming. That's how it's gonna work. And I'm assuming there's gonna be like a time limit too onto it. You just can't hold on to it and like next week you're like, hey, you could have this now. Like, no, I'm pretty sure.
I think they did post something on that.
Well, we could definitely go back to that if somebody finds anything. Was it on that? I know that was one of the things that was a part of the patch notes, and also we have incursions that we're gonna bring that up in a little while. Because apparently, I'm assuming the incursions are going to be the weekly of what's going on. Because we don't even have weeklies. We just have the dailies at max level right now. But they are trying off the bat. We've gotten a lot of content out. We have the encounters. We have our side missions. And then we have, a random set of missions. Well, not random set of missions, but the missions that overlay the entire story. We also saw, and this is definitely what I want to really bring up right now, is the DLC, because you said there was not going to be any type of microtransactions or quote-unquote mini purchases, but we've seen that with the military and the marine set. We're going to start off with Templar on this one. What do you think about that? Do you feel a certain way that they brought this into the mix?
It's hard to say. I mean, that was one of the things they tweeted right before was, hey, we're not going to have any microtransactions. That's fine, whichever. And then they release these, the cosmetic suits. And I don't know. Has anything that they're asking us to pay for, are there any kind of actual benefit to your character? No, they're cosmetic. So, in a way, is it like a regular standard microtransaction? No, you're not getting boosted experience. You're not getting certain, like for instance, in this game, you're not getting boosted scavenging. You're not getting something that's giving you an advantage. You're getting just some really good-looking clothing sets. And coupled with all the clothing sets they're already giving for free, it's hard to say. I want to hope that they stick by their guns and they don't add anything more. Because because the next thing we need is, oh, hey, get the, pay $4.99 for an additional, 50 Phoenix creds or something like that. Crap like that you'll see in other games that would really tip the way that, the balance of power for characters. It's going to be something that we would have to wait and see. Right now, with it just being the Marine and the secondary military outfits, no, I don't think it's that bad of a thing. But it's as long as they keep their word and stick with that, whether it's massive, well, it's probably going to be more Ubisoft over massive. Massive just makes the game. It really depends on how if they keep with that, idea the whole time.
Right. I'm a little scared about that whole entire thing because if you're talking about like what is it? Because I've seen games that have done it where it's like you can actually pay for credits that you can get in a game and actually get items that help you out a little bit. I definitely do not want to see. I'm all for the DLC. You can give me clothes. I do not mind, especially pop culture related stuff. I am all in there. Like when they gave me, was it some Marine outfits in the military? I was definitely looking forward to something like that because I didn't have access to getting, what was it, National Guard outfit, and I lost out on that. I'm not gonna lie, I did not pre-order the gold edition. I feel bad, but I'm glad that we actually have the time to, get, what was it, the military, the Marine sets. It's all good. I don't have a problem with cosmetics. I do have a problem with anything that's I think it's called pay to win. I have a big issue with that. That's a definite turnoff on a game. Frozone, what is your output on the sets that we're getting right now?
The sets that, just like Templar had said, when it comes to those microtransactions, as long as it's nothing that's actually going to put you ahead of the game. So if I'm rich, or not rich, but I have money to just burn, and it's not going to put me ahead of those guys that actually have to grind out or play to get things, then it's whatever. But for me, me, I'm FrozoneUSMC. I'm legitimately USMC. So I took the Marine Forces pack, and I'm running around here looking all official. So that's just how I feel about it. It's awesome for me to be able to wear that. You get to get the tactical feel of it. I hope they do a couple of different, clothing sets, whether it's, whatever kind of uniform that they want to throw in there, because you want to make sure that your character is you. When you get to go in games like this, when you get to change what your character looks like, what kind of gear they wear, the presentation of that gear, you want to be able to say, hey, this is my unique character, this is who I am in the world. When you see me, it's me, and this is what I want to be perceived as. So I think that's cool. Every individual wants to be who they are and be identified by that.
You definitely just bridged into the next part of this conversation or discussion.
I'm getting really good at that. I'm getting really good at that, I think.
The segue master right there.
This one is one of my favorite topics because I already know where I stand as far as character creation. Character creation to me, I'm the guy who's going to get in there and this character has to be me one way or another. But I've seen people like Frozone who will take that female character because that's what he does. There's no disrespect in that. No, I do not disrespect. I will not do it. No. But I'm actually surprised after the character creation we have to deal with right now, he actually became a male character for the first time in God knows how long. And for me, the character creation, I'm going to just drop it right here, it's very limited. It is super limited. It doesn't feel like you can do too much. It's either you're a black guy, a white guy, I don't know, Down syndrome Spanish guy, and I think there was a Chinese guy at some point. I never took a look at the females. So I'm definitely gonna have to go on Frozone for this one. What did you think about the entire character creation? Because it was all right, but I don't think it was all there, in my opinion.
It's not all there. I am rocking a dude in a video game. The whole purpose of my persona, of who I am, is to run around as the bad chick that's like, yo, she's holding it down. I can't believe, she's good, man. Who is that? That's what I like running around with. I just want to be, Lara Croft is awesome. Joanna Dark is awesome. Like, people love female protagonists that, like, they use their abilities to be badass and freaking they can carry themselves well. I can't pick a chick in this game and carry myself well. Like, I'm looking kind of on the 6 side, maybe a strong 7 to some people. I have to be an 8, damn it. So in order for me to go through this game and hold my head up high and take New York back, I had to go to guy. I had to do it. I just had to do it.
All right.
I don't even know on that one. I don't even know. I just.
Go ahead, Templar.
I had to, man. Like, come on. It's just. I don't know.
No, the character creator is horribly limited. It's
Templar.
It's one of those things. Temp, where'd you go, man? I need you.
That's why I have to mute myself.
It was that bad. And Templar's the guy from fucking what was it, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and I feel like the character creation that was kind of funny, but it was a little bit more than what we bargained for in was it Vision, because I don't know, like it was, to me it's limited, and I don't know what happened. Oh, we got a question. I'm gonna stop for a moment and answer this question. When is the giveaway? We're gonna do the giveaway at the end of the show. This giveaway only participates with the followers of the show and people who are active together in the chat. The giveaway is definitely going to be $20 towards either PSN, Xbox, or your Steam account. And that'll happen, like I said, at the end of the show. Now back to the show.
All right, I can talk again because I didn't have to mute myself suddenly. It's really limited, and it's kind of sad because it is. I mean, it's limited compared to Destiny's, and let's face it, Destiny's character creator was kind of crap too. Oh yay, I can pick a person, a blue person, or kind of a robot. It really, there's a lot more they could have done, for sure. I know that a lot of it they probably went towards making, hey, instead of making characters that look unique, your uniqueness comes in your gear and your style you do. But it still could have been better. It just could have been so much better, and it's kind of a shame there because, I hate the way my character looks. I was like, I'll go with this, I guess, and make that a thing. And it's just, you feel like you settle, no matter what you do.
It's appalling. It's ridiculous. I want my female character.
I'm actually wondering now, is it bridging back to DLC content and stuff that we could actually buy? I'm actually hoping that we're going to actually see something in the future where we could actually, change it up a bit. If not, we're going to get some more faces out there or something to add on to it. I mean, I'm all for it. If we're gonna get cosmetic with it, we might as well just give us the, the remakes or something like that. Because that'd be great. Especially if they get some more female characters throughout.
Give us. Yeah, that could be something they could charge for, and that would be fine.
Yeah, I'm buying that shit, like right now.
Alright.
Increases breast size by 30%. You're like,
and that's the thing. Like, I don't need her to be like some super ridiculous curvy girl. She just has to look like she can carry herself well.
You were gonna pound that buy button so hard. don't even give me this whole like, oh no, she doesn't have to look like. Nope. Buy. You're gonna look at your credit card statement and be like, my God, I bought like 60 of those things. I may have a problem.
I will consult you on what's appropriate. How about that?
I think we might
have
to have a show, and it's going to be you streaming. And we're going to see what you're going to end up looking like if they ever do this.
Ooh, yes, please.
Extreme Makeovers Division Edition.
I'm down.
Alright, so we have, the character creation, we have our situations with it, but that's definitely not what's going to hold it for me. Because we've literally, I think we're all level 30 now, right? So we've been playing for quite some time. And so far with the encounters, our missions, our side missions, and now we have, I think, dailies at the end of it, where it goes from hard to challenging, last one, and then we have the other two that's hard. How do you feel about the gameplay of things? We're gonna start off with Templar on this one. How do you feel about the gameplay, like totally?
It's good for right now. I'm actually very concerned in the sense of what they're going to do for like incursions, and the idea of like if they do go into like, hey, these are going to be like raids in Destiny, essentially that mindset. Cover-based shooting, and specifically this game right now, doesn't really allow for mechanics or anything that resembles mechanics. And mechanics are always, when they pulled them off in Destiny, when Bungie pulled it off in Destiny, it was actually kind of amazing. You're like, oh wow, they actually added different things to do grade mechanics in a first-person shooter, and that was just ridiculous. And they'll have to add things like that, but we don't see a lot yet. I mean, the gameplay itself is tight. The cover-based shooting's good. The way weapons feel are pretty good. Everything, mods adjust your statistics, your drift, everything. It actually is a really tight game. But how are you going to change the actual dynamics of a fight for something bigger? It can't just be hide behind cover, shoot guy, flank guy, hide behind cover, shoot guy. I mean, you have your skills and stuff, but it's still just going to be in the end, hide behind cover and shoot someone. And we don't see enough other interaction with the environment in the game other than hitting switches and the occasional, like, picking up the breakers, to where it's going to have to be something new. And hopefully it is. And I really feel like they're going to come up with something. But how that's going to translate, I don't know yet. So as of right now, it's very good. Little concerned for the future just a bit.
I almost feel the same way, but I'm definitely going to pan this over to Frozone. How do you feel about it?
It's gonna be exactly what Templar said. Like, honestly, as long as for me, I'm running around and I'm getting to shoot things, and it's gonna be ridiculously difficult, and they do what they're doing with the tactical shooter now, which is everyone has to play a specific role. There is no carrying the team with one specific loadout. Everyone has to be putting in work. I'm cool with that, but they're gonna have to do something, and I don't know what that thing is yet, in order to say, the cool thing that you had in this one other game, we're going to bring something to the table, because, you kind of just say that you're going to kill this other game. So if you're going to kill the other game, then you have to bring something new. And although Division is brand new, the way that it's been done, this kind of template has been worked on before in the past, and it failed because it didn't bring all the unique pieces together like Division did. But you're still going to have to bring something new if you want to keep us around.
I definitely agree with that. Templar was mentioning about, was it the people basically that we're dealing with? We already have our four, I think it's four, right? The rioters, we have the cleaners, we have, what is the army people? The LMB, the military?
LMB.
The Last Man Battalion.
Where's
Or Brotherhood, I think, yeah.
Battalion, I think it's Battalion.
Battalion? Okay.
Rikers.
So we have four
They escaped.
little things there. We have four little factions. And Templar is worried about the whole fact that, we're just shooting at people. That's it. And I'm definitely going to just shoot this out there, because I definitely have to put it out there. This is a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So if you're watching this video, I'm about to spoil some shit. Alright? It's going down.
Yeah, it's going down.
So if you need to fucking walk away from this video and you're watching, walk away for a good, minutes. Don't just walk away.
Snape killed Dumbledore. I'm sorry.
It's just over.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know. But the end mission, okay? I was excited for the first time we actually did the end mission, because it felt more tactical. I think was it Police Academy also felt really tactical? It was one of those two.
Yeah, that.
I think it was a consulate.
Oh, okay,
the consulate
was
one.
Okay, it was was it the consulate? Then we had the last one, the assembly, where it felt tactical. Everything felt right. It felt more organized for the most part. But then again, it might be because we were playing with each other. Pause. And what is it? The end mission surprised us with a fucking helicopter. There was a fucking helicopter that had a health bar in the sky. So I'm just sitting there. I was like, "Hey, this is what Templar needs. Like, there's a boss, and he's a helicopter. He's not a person. He's not somebody that broke out of jail. No, it's a helicopter shooting at us. And even though it was not much, but because we were already over leveled for the entire thing, and we also had, I think, Prophetic running with us, and he already knew what to do. I think it was something along the lines of activating turrets to actually do it, but I feel like you could have just shot at him and they'll do it. But I felt like that was their first try at a mechanic, so to say. So I feel like something like that, let's say for example, maybe we could have used the turrets for like, knocking down the shield, then we can DPS him. Would have been a better way to do it as far as a mechanic is concerned. And I'm hoping to see a little more to that for the gameplay of things. Because that right there was it. We're going to end up seeing something more similar. They're going to have to do it. And I've seen stuff, and this is where I'm going to bring in the incursions. The incursions, we saw a video. And there's a glimpse of it. I wish I could show you right now. Of, I think it's called an APC. Correct me if I'm wrong, Frozone. Is it like a mobile tank or some sort?
APC are armored personnel carriers. They're pretty much used in order to take troops into the front lines without receiving small arms fire. They don't have a whole lot of armor. They can protect you from some RPG fire or light machine guns, things of that nature. But as soon as you bring in the big boy guns, then you're pretty much screwed.
So that's pretty much us, because that's all we got. We got small arms and maybe like a sticky or two. And in incursions, I think we've seen a little glimpse of an APC. Somebody mentioned something along the lines of tanks, and I feel that we're gonna end up like, because I've seen it done in I think it was like Metal Gear Solid. We fought a tank.
Yeah.
You fight giant robots in Metal Gear. So
you're right.
Yeah, well, it was the tank fight. There was. I know there was.
It was a tank fight. There was.
There was.
That's what I think is gonna happen. Like, we're not gonna, like, at first we're given the basics. We have our heavily armored people that are bosses for some reason, but we notice that they're only for the dailies. Even the challenge mode daily is still a daily, and after yesterday, what we did to that challenge mode, it's only a daily now. There's no challenge to it technically. I mean, if everything is structured.
I need to get that one finished.
Yes, and the format, yes, it's gonna be really good because it was a smooth ride. What happened yesterday? But the incursions, you said it might be raids. I think that's going to be our weeklies. What do you think?
I like where you're going with that. I feel like as long as here's what it is. It can be your weekly, but technically that's kind of what your raid was too. But are you saying that it's not going to be as difficult is what we're thinking? And it's just like oh hey, you can do this once a week, get some really cool gear, play as much as you want, but you can only get gear from it once.
That's gonna happen.
Because if they do it like it has multi stages, different people that you have to go up against, and something like that, then we already know what we're talking about.
Great material, but I know this is definitely like it's not speculation, but some people brought some actual footage from, I think, like alpha into beta, or I think it was beta. But what was it? You might be familiar with this more. Frozone. I mean, not Frozone. Templar. What was it? The raid mods for like World of Warcraft and stuff like that, where you have your regular window for the party, right? Then you have another like party-like window for raids that extends. And apparently, in the PC version for the Division, you had your regular party window that you could customize or move around, and there was a bigger window right under it that they felt that might be our raid window. And it's been like here and there spat out, hey, we might actually have 8 players together for raid. I don't think we're gonna see raids till possibly maybe the end of, maybe May into June, or the first expansion might have it. I mean, the incursions, we're gonna get it on, was it April? We're gonna get one in May, and I think we're getting one in June. So I really do feel that the incursions are gonna be our weekly, for the most part.
Yeah, and I could support that too with the first expansion. Like, if you want to get into like the real good stuff, like a raid type of experience, then yeah, you have to pay to get into it. But for everyone, they wanted to pretty much build upon what Division was to make it more whole and give you these other little things. So weekly, I think, was in their scope of things. So I definitely agree with that.
What do you think about this, Templar? Because I know how you feel about Ubisoft, and then goes into like EA, money.
You're just trying to poke the bear over here. That's all it is.
I'm poking at it. The barrel's heating up because I mean, like, I felt like I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here now, and go on Templar side with it, and you have incursions with a week. They said that was a free update, so that's cool, awesome, great, that's free. But if we don't see a free update for a raid, how do you feel that the raid's gonna end up in an expansion pack that you have to pay for if you're not on board?
Well, again, it kind of goes to the Destiny side of it. I mean, that's what they did. It's they gave you one raid, but then the next raid was behind a paywall. You know what? It's hard to say until we actually see what the incursions are. Excursions. Trip. It's a trip to Long Island. It's your excursion. It's really going to be a hard way to see it, only because we don't know what that's going to be. So if we don't know what that's going to be, it's going to be hard to say, okay, unless they say, yeah, incursions are the raids, or the raid type stuff, and they say it's not. It's like this, it's a weekly type, 4-man dungeon or strike or whatever the crap you want to call it. Until we know that, it's going to be hard to gauge how they're going to play it, because we keep comparing it to all these, we keep comparing it to the one game because that's what everyone's going to compare it to.
Reference point, yeah.
But really, we don't know what they're going to do, and they could kind of go in any direction with this. If they want to make incursions 8-man, sure, they do. Rack up the difficulty, whatever. If we're going to be fighting tanks and or helicopters and what game was it? There was a game where you fought like helicopters like every 10. Oh, okay. You'll be surprised on this. It was a 50 Cent Blood in the Sand. Like, you seriously, like every other boss was a helicopter. It was like, oh, there's another helicopter. Yo, Fitty, there's another helicopter.
I want to buy the album at that point. Like, seriously, yeah. If 50's fighting helicopters, I'll buy your albums, because I feel like
Fitty needs money, fight them helicopters. That's the name of the album.
This is definitely going to sidetrack with the 50 Cent thing.
Yeah. but anyway, we'll go back to the incursions. But yeah, they're going to give it, if they're going to give us something that's different than the story missions. That we know that. The incursions are not story missions that we've been doing now. So with however that ends up rolling out, if it is a weekly, hey, here's some really nice shit inside this dungeon, we go in, awesome. If it is actually like maybe mini raids or WoW had things called scenarios, which weren't quite dungeons, but they were like mini events. Actually, technically, we don't know if incursions may be actually smaller than storyline missions. They could be like total like little tiny event things that you do very quickly, like a miniature dungeon that only takes like 15 minutes or so.
What was it? Yeah, I've definitely seen the video. What was it? Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
With the video, it does cover. It's gonna be 4-man off the bat. It's gonna entail like almost basically like, I don't know if it's gonna cover any story or it's just gonna be like a little snippet of something else. But I want to say it's gonna be either the same length of what we dealt with in a story, or it's gonna be a little bit longer. I know it's gonna be a lot harder. I don't know how hard, but I know they're gonna expect a tactical response, and that's my girl laughing in the other room because she's wondering how hard it is. Like, and I'm waiting for like a that's what she said.
Oh no. I was leaving that for her. I didn't want to mess with that.
Difficulty, yeah, it's going to be difficult, but what exactly we get, I don't know. Until we see an actual playthrough and not just a snippet of a trailer, I don't know.
See that. We're going to skip over the incursions because, I mean, that's what I'm excited for. I feel it's going to be our weeklies because we have our dailies. And the dailies is definitely the next topic. I'm gonna go on first on this one because except for I think it was like Prof was one of the first ones that hit 30. I think I was more aligned with one of the seconds. Or did you get before me, Templar?
I think I got it the next
Okay.
morning after you.
I went straight into a daily the moment I hit 30. No regards. I don't care. I was like butt naked with like a little new pistol that was high end. I ran inside there. And I went in to see what was going to happen. I wanted to see if it was going to be that tough, and it pretty much was just us doing the hard mode version of the mission, which we were, for the most part in the beginning, we were already doing. So it didn't feel any different. It just felt like, just more of a sponge to kill these enemies. There was nothing crazy about it. It was when we got into the challenging daily that I want to say we had a huge problem. I think the first one that I did by myself with some other people.
Now entering a contaminated area.
The Russian consulate, I think it was. That's that one with the building and whatnot, and the pillars, and the metal detectors in the beginning. And literally, we got our asses handed to us at the metal detectors every
Exiting
time.
the contaminated
Because
area.
the shotgunners there were the first ones in, and they would take you out. So now we had to devise a tactic, and when I tell you, you had to know who everybody was, like with the little icons, the little thunderbolt, and the grenader person. You had to know what was going on, because now you have to take out those people in a certain order, in a certain fashion. But once everybody got geared up, everybody was good to go for the challenging daily, and it was just pretty much ripping through everybody's health in one shot with hard covers, because apparently that's the new tactic. Everybody does a hard cover. Everybody has either pulse or ammo cache, and everybody rolls in at the same time, spams their buffs, and eats everything live. Now the challenge mode is not even challenging at all. It's just, if everybody's on the same page, it's more structured, it's nicer, I guess, for the most part. It's not chaotic. And now it's pretty much farmable at a certain extent. Templar, you said you had 30, then around the corner came out Frozone, so we're gonna go with Templar. How'd you feel about the dailies and challenging daily?
Challenging daily. I didn't get to go with y'all's run yesterday where you actually cleared it, but okay, hard daily is not. Yeah, I mean that. Very little effort was required. I mean, you could go in there with a simple gear, and that's good for the sense that it's designed to get you into what they consider the beginning of the end game. It's your low level strikes. It's easy vanguard strikes. It's the content's the same difficulty felt that what you're doing before, just they were level 30 now, and you gunned them down just as quick. Challenge mode, that was kind of a surprise. I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't realize it was going to be that tough. And it was without mercy. I love the fact that they give you enemies that absolutely do not follow any of the rules of the game. Like, nah, he's got infinite grenades. Don't worry about that. You'll be fine. Or, I mean, it was rough. It is a rough experience. And it's good that it is. It requires you to have a proper group. And almost, you need to have someone. Well, I guess now with just that cover, it's pretty much what you have to do. But I don't know. It was something. It was very much something, and I was not expecting it in any way, shape, or form, which is a good thing. I would rather be surprised with difficulty. My only thing about it is that hopefully Massive doesn't look at difficulty as, hey, let's just add more hit points to everything, or make it hit harder. And I don't think they have. I mean, you definitely notice that, yes, enemies are way more bullet sponges than before. That's a given. But you're seeing smarter AI with it too, which is a good part. You're seeing runners go, you're getting flanked more often, they're suppressing you, then trying to smoke you out with grenades, then send a shotgunner in. It's very well done.
Frozone, have you been able, I'm pretty sure you had to have done the hard mode, but have you actually gotten your feet with challenge dailies?
I was gonna say that I don't want to talk about it because I'm still wounded by it and I'm still seeing someone about it. And he told me not to really talk about it because then it will bring up a lot of stuff. But I feel strong enough to talk about it. I'm very comfortable in my skills when it comes to shooters, and when I got into this challenge mode, I was just like, but why? Why is this guy running at me? Okay, let me open up on him and get my headshots because I like my marksmanship rifle. I'm really good at it. If I'm shooting you in the face with a marksmanship rifle after 5 rounds and I'm seeing crit hit levels that I've never seen before, and you still have half of your shield when I'm done, I need a break. Like, this is too much. Like, I need help. I'm popping my super, I'm throwing grenades, I'm healing myself, and this shotgun dude is putting rounds in my face from 40 yards off. Like, this cover is not doing anything for me because now I have to bail. You weren't there, and I think Templar was there. I had to run. And when I said run, I'm talking about Forrest Gump run in order to get to a point that I wasn't going to die. You know? Like, it was serious. It's like it's your nightfall. That's how I feel about challenging mode. I feel like it's that thing where things are just hitting you way too hard, and unless you have the damage to deal out to put into work, or unless you do the new tactic that we just found out about, you're going to be fighting uphill, and it sucks. It sucks a lot. So if that's the kind of stuff they're putting in for a challenge mode, I don't even want to know what a weekly is going to be like. I really don't. I'm good. I'm good on the weekly.
That is a bit traumatic, yes. I felt the same way. Like I said, it was rough. We didn't get. I think we got past the metal detectors and we just took it upstairs and it was very bad. And I was happy to get my actual core group for the most part to actually do the challenge mode, and it actually worked out for the most part. And then when we revisited the challenge mode last night with this new tactic that they learned, it was a bit ridiculous. And what was it? I wish I had the gameplay for it. But that challenge mode was too easy after that. It went smooth. I think it was the Lincoln Tunnel, if I'm not mistaken. And we actually was able to clear it out. We had a little trouble, for the most part, inside the tunnel itself. And you have to protect the person, because you have your people with your golf clubs backing you from left and right, and they flank too. They have a death wish, but they're good at it. But we see that we're getting rewarded with Phoenix credits, and do you feel that these dailies are enough to put out those Phoenix credits? I'm gonna start off with Templar on
that. Right now, I would say so. I mean, of course, there's the people who've already gotten like everything already, and they probably need something to a little bit more. I have not seen a change in the vendors yet in the base for your Phoenix credits. It still looks like it's the same things, but I mean, so far, yeah. Right now, everything seems to work. They probably, and I don't know if they've already stated this or not, if there's going to be a rotation on when things are going to change from the Phoenix vendors or not, but I know the safe houses do, correct?
Safe houses in Dark Zone?
I think so.
Yeah, the safe houses in the Dark Zone require Phoenix credits for some of those items, don't they?
No. Not that I've noticed, unless you guys have seen something that I haven't seen.
I'm talking about the high end stuff.
They actually have a. I don't know where it's located, but there is. I'm definitely gonna warn you guys about that. They're already. You already know what item levels are, right? They're not your actual level of the weapon that you can use it. Like, hey, I'm level 30, I can use this weapon at level 30. There's actually an item level on. Yeah,
it's just eye level.
In which the high ends, most of the high ends that I've seen, it's level 31. That's what you need to look for when you're looking through all the stuff that you want to buy, or you actually get for drops, or what you want to save when you come out of the Dark Zone. But apparently, the Dark Zone vendor that has the Phoenix credit I don't think he carries any item level 31s. So wasting your money, wasting your Phoenix credits, you're gonna be wasting your Phoenix credits first off. And what you can buy at a regular vendor Phoenix credit is going to be a little bit more inside the dark zone for some reason. This is according to a YouTuber. God, I wish I knew his name. It was a British guy too. But
There's only
no,
like
there's
one of them. Don't worry,
like,
I'm sure
I have
everyone
like
will figure it out.
3 British guys that do division like content like every day, and this is one of them was talking about this stuff, and then like you find out that inside the safe house that the Phoenix credits are a little bit more expensive in that spot than you would when you go to another one, but you could get better gear in the other spot. So I recommend you guys hold on to your Phoenix credits. You know, spend it at the base. Don't spend it inside the dark zone because it's not worth it. It's all level 30. You're gonna outgrow that really quick, especially when the incursion drops. That's gonna go away real quick. Dark zone with the Phoenix credits. No. What was it? The base with the Phoenix credits. I think they're going to change. In the video that I have, what was it? It said 66 hours. So they do have a refresher. I just don't know when they're planning to go down with it because I could have sworn it refreshed at one point, and we just got the same stuff.
The guns appear to the same to me because I remember it being but who knows? If they refresh it and we get a good change, yes, Phoenix credits will be great. I mean, otherwise we'll just run out of a need for them pretty quickly.
Probably at this point buying like just the blueprints just to get yourself going, especially the mod ones if you have to get that going too. As far as everything with challenge dailies, that's pretty much good to go. Phoenix credits, good to go. How do you feel about the cover-to-cover combat in this game? Is this would have been the way to go, or would you have wanted something more Destiny-like with third-person shooters? We're gonna go with Frozone on this.
This is Tom Clancy. Like, this is your bread and butter. You are a tactical, not really espionage, but you are a tactical shooter franchise. This is what you do. So cover-based is what people are used to seeing. You do it very well. So going away from it completely wouldn't be a good idea. So using it the way that they're using it now, you have to. With the way damage is dealt out by the enemies and the way that their tactics are used, the way the AI works, cover to cover is the best way to run this game, because you can't just I love my peek and shoot all day, my quick sniping, and quick sniping it's kind of, I can't even say it's easy. If you learn it, you can do it pretty well, but you have to learn it. You know, it's not a thing that just, oh, you just walk in the game, man, I can quick snipe anyone, you know, I'm the greatest. No, you have to learn it, because the snipers on the other team, they wait to see your face. And it's not like you can stay out there for 2 seconds and then squeeze the trigger. You need to get out, get your sights to align within half a second or a second, fire, and then get back into cover. Because if you don't, you end up at critical health right then and there. You know, and I know, you know, some of us have had that happen. So you have to stay in cover, and I like that you can't just run and gun and do whatever you want, because then it becomes a playground where it's like, oh yeah, we're doing paintball. It's no longer being tactical. It's like, oh, all I need is the right buffs, and I can just run out in the middle of the field and just shoot whoever, and I'm the king of the world. So I like the way it is.
How do you feel about it, Templar? How do you feel about cover to cover?
Cover to cover, I like the cover to cover movement. I still think that some of the cover physics in it are it's a little wonky. Like, they haven't figured corners, which kind of surprised me. Like, I would have preferred a much smoother transition when you're going from a covered corner to another side. Like, say if you're any kind of corner-based cover. Mostly, I'm good with it. I will totally bitch about some things just when it doesn't work. Like, when it doesn't work, it's so frustrating. But at the same time, they have moments of greatness, like when you can roll straight into a cover or something like that. So, I don't know. I give it it's like a 7 out of 10. It's good most of the times, but there's some parts where it definitely needs some more improved, like, connecting and disconnecting from cover.
Alright. Was it cover to cover for me, I love third-person shooters. That's a guarantee. Anything third-person, I love it. Cover to cover, I was a little skeptical about it. It's a little, I don't know, interesting, and then not so interesting at the same time, because I felt everything would be a little slower. But like you said, it is a tactical shooter, so everything has to have some type of, tactic to it. So it has to be a little bit. So. And to me, the cover to cover, for the most part, it works. Especially when you're able to hold down the X and just run and just hold it down, and you just keep going, and you're crouched down, going fast. Sometimes your character does like this awesome slide to make it all action-packed movie, and the rolls to cover, that's beautiful. That is, forget about it. Like, it's just fucking beautiful. And I love the way they put everything together. It's working out for the most part. The cornering, it definitely needs work. I could definitely agree to that. There's times where things go terribly wrong, and I'm definitely going to go into the bugs discussion about this. And I don't know if this has happened to you, but we see a lot of trucks, right? Want to get on top of a truck, they have boxes for you to cover in. And God forbid if one of your friends come up onto the truck with you and start moving around like an asshole, or that the JTF officer, these guys do it all the time. They get up in your face, they start moving you around, and somehow you're inside the car seat of the truck. And now you can't move. And this is when the game decides one of two things. Hey, I can leave this guy inside the truck and he can't do anything about it, or I'm going to teleport him across the map, and now he cannot teleport back to the mission itself. He would have to teleport to the beginning of the mission, and then run all the way back to where that truck was. And that is by far one of the most annoying bugs I've had to deal with in the Division. It's happened to me a couple of times, and now I just stayed away from trucks for the most part. Have you guys experienced anything of this nature? And I'm definitely going to go on to Templar with this, because you definitely experienced a couple of things. But what was your experience on any of the bugs of it?
Oh, yeah, that's part of my beef with the cover. Is just when it does bug out, it's bad. And a lot of it has to do with like, for a game that has neat, I don't want to call it AI, because I use a if this then that system for almost all of it, but JTF characters are stupid. Like, it's like mind-blowingly painfully stupid, and the amount of times they have like wedged you out of cover or something along those lines, and it's just, yeah, for the fact that you stick to cover is one thing, but when you're in cover, you're also easily moved. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I've been pushed out of bounds before. I did get stuck in a wall once. I have a friend who his character has, I want to say he's gotten himself stuck like every other night. He gets stuck in something.
That's terrible.
And wow.
Yeah, he was stuck in. We were doing one of the missions, and it was the which one? The power plant. That's the one where you finish off the cleaners, right? Where you fight John Farrow. Was that
I think so.
or Joe Farrow? I think.
Oh.
Anyway, it's right there. Oh no, it's not that. Anyway, it's one where you're finishing off the cleaners, like where you're fighting off their leader. And you're in the watchtower, like the most horrible forced exposition like they could have done. And he gets stuck in one of the pillars, like just stuck. And now you see his like feet wailing around inside of it when he's trying to roll out of it. But it was all that happened was he stuck to the cover, moved, and then he went right through the terrain. Yeah, that bug, and that's going to be a tough one for them to fix, because it's part of the physics engine, and it's, but man, it will break the game very quickly when it happens.
It's definitely going to be the issue. Have you experienced any of these random bugs, Frozone?
I've experienced all types of stupid silliness, and it's frustrating. Things like being shot, and when you go to shoot back, first of all, you're in the dark zone. In the dark zone, you have to check your fire, and I tell people that all the time. You need to have trigger awareness on what you're about to shoot, because going rogue is one of the high power weapons you have. It just happens instantly. So I get shot. I turn around. I assess my target. It looks like a gang member. It looks like someone, like an NPC I'm supposed to shoot. But one of the glitches that I've seen, and I just saw it 2 seconds ago because I'm playing Division now, is it'll say non-hostile target on the damn gang member that I'm supposed to be shooting. So my brain is thinking, I know I'm supposed to shoot this guy, but this icon just said non-hostile. And if I keep shooting, I've trained myself to automatically stop shooting. As soon as I see non-hostile, I'm like, oh, I need to get off the button. Oh wait, no, that's a gang member. I have to kill him. Oh wait, I'm dying. I might die now. So that gets on my nerves. Couple of other things that I've seen: reloading for me in certain situations just not working. I get to the end of I'm getting close to the end of my mag, and I'm trying to reload, and it doesn't want to reload, so I have to switch guns. And then you get to that bad spot where both of your guns are low, and then it takes a second to think about reloading. So I'm hoping that there's a patch. Maybe it's included in 1.1, or maybe there's a 1.02 that comes out to address some of it, but it makes it kind of, the game's already challenging. I don't need all this ridiculous extra stuff to make it even more challenging.
Yeah, that's a definite.
I've
Go ahead, Templar.
I forgot about the reload one. That's that I don't know if that needs to be fixed more in the cover. The reload process happens, and then the clip has not the ammo hasn't refilled.
You don't get the ammo. Like, you see your character doing it, but you don't get any bullets.
So it's like
I'm just like, okay.
Does it stutter? Is it something like similar to the broom situation like in the beginning level? Yeah.
Where it like stalls out. No, I would say it's more like the like, I don't know if it's something they're intending to wear, and it may be like we're getting shot at the time and we're getting staggered while we're reloading, which in a way it would make sense. But if that's what it's supposed to be, it's animating us as we're reloading. Like, oh hey, we're actually reloading our gun right now. And you go with some of the light machine guns that are going to have a longer reload time, it becomes kind of a hassle, because now you're like, I reloaded. I have no bullets. You have to reload again. And will get you killed pretty quickly.
Definite. Pretty much I haven't really I know the reload situation I had from time to time. Cover to cover situations, I've had a couple. But Dark Zone, where the targets and stuff, that's iffy. This one's between me and Frozone, because we spazzed out on each other on this one. I don't know if they fixed it, but Timmy the turret is a problem.
My goodness.
Like, literally, it's so much of a problem. I don't use sticky. I know I use stickies if I'm in the dark zone, but I don't use Timmy the turret. I don't use the BB-8 because I don't know how that's gonna react, and especially if he balls up into a bunch of balls, it's a done deal. We're definitely gonna go rogue just because of BB-8. But I try to stay away from all those things now, because the dark zone is a problem, and it's a fun, loving problem. And that's our next topic, the dark zone. I want to say the dark zone is possibly one of the greatest, I wouldn't call it a mechanic or of sorts, but I guess game mode, so to say. It's PvP, but it reflects on the PvP that we've seen in H1Z1, I think it was called. What was the other one? Rust. You have the main one, DayZ, where your humanity is literally tested. And no one ever don't mention Grand Theft Auto. There's no humanity in Grand Theft Auto, I'm sorry. In Grand Theft Auto, everybody is meant to shoot everybody. That's it. I shot my friend because that's what happens. But I don't think I'm gonna be shooting any of my friends in the Division. It's not gonna happen unless I was like really just wanting to be a dick and I want to get some followers that day. But no, it's not gonna happen. And the Dark Zone has been one of the greatest experiences I've seen, especially in certain situations where proximity chat is hilarious. Because we've actually had situations where we're about to extract something and, you know, a couple of people don't realize that their mics are on. And they're like, hey, we should kill them. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now everything's real in the Dark Zone. And like you said with the meme, everything gets very tense the moment you go for extractions. So pretty much the Dark Zone is your PvP zone. You head into the Dark Zone. It's pretty much, I want to say, a free-for-all for the most part, unless you're inside a group, because I don't think we have any friendly fire, so to say. But the person can leave the group and start just, you know, hammering it. Don't get any ideas. But pretty much go in, you run your rounds, you go ahead, find some named enemies, go ahead and kill them. And that's the basic part of it. You're going in there for loot. That's it. You're going to go in there, go for the loot, and come back out. That's the good version of the Dark Zone. The bad version, and this is something, you know, some of us have already dealt with, some of, you know, actually tried out, is becoming the Rogue. The Rogue is basically the guy who goes into the Dark Zone and wants to kill people. What your reasons are for killing these people is totally up to you. You're doing it for fun, you're doing it to piss people off, and you want to hear them in the proximity chat. You're just doing it for their loot, and that's how you want to do it. You don't want to fight some enemies because it's boring. You want to challenge. Whatever it is, you're doing the rogue thing, and you know that's supposed to be the bad side of it. And faction, I feel has a couple of issues because I wish it was under like literally just a minute. That whole minute and plus some, I don't know. It's a bit much for me. 9 items for the inventory. That's, I don't know, it feels like they were really trying to wave that up into a sense where it's like, yeah, you can only carry so much and we want you to extract now. So I guess it, you know, adds on to the, you know, tenseness thing. The gameplay inside the Dark Zone, I love it. And I hate it at the same time. Definitely gonna pan over to Frozone on the Dark Zone. Go ahead. Take the floor.
Dark Zone is quite frankly the thing that's making this game. It takes away the just simple, I want to go to multiplayer and shoot other people and bang, bang, bang. And it puts the word tense into everything you do. I mean, we're all division agents. We all got activated, you know, to take New York City back. But this one contaminated area where we can get pretty cool high-level loot, you know, you're going to run into other random agents. When you run into the agents, you don't really know if it's an agent or it's an NPC because you can't really see their name at certain distances. You have to sight in on them, or maybe you have to get in within a certain distance before you realize, okay, it is that person. So you have to identify your target. Then the question rolls through your mind. Is this a good division agent, or does he have ulterior motives? Well, in the early demo that you saw of gameplay 2 years ago, they showed you how, you know, the team ran up against a bunch of random people. They're like, oh, snap, it's 3 of us, 2 of them, let's see what they do. And then all of a sudden, all 5 of them teamed up together to fight NPCs. That's happened to me plenty of times, and it's enjoyable. It's great to see that you have odds you're going up against, and you can just link up with random people wherever and then just take on the enemy. But you just need to cover your 6, because these are guys that can easily flip on you right there in just the heat of the moment, and then now you're out of cool gear that you thought you were going to have, or, you know, you just really made some bad enemies. You know, you have a way of getting that stuff back. You can go back in there and, you know, hopefully gun them down. Hopefully, you know, you have some other people that, you know, you just luck out and get your gear back. But it's not guaranteed. I mean, you do have that timer that you get hit with. If you do it by accident, it's only like 17 seconds, as long as you don't kill anyone. If you kill someone, I do believe it's a full 89 seconds. And that's if you're not being engaged. As soon as you get engaged, there's like a little delay in there. But it's that whole going rogue thing, especially when you don't want to, yo, man, that puts this a bad feeling in your stomach, and you're just like, I don't need this right now.
Yeah, that's a definite. Templar, Dark Zone. How do you feel about the Dark Zone?
So far, it's worth the risk to do it. That's for sure. Like how well the Dark Zone is implemented, it's fun, and I will definitely say it is. It's incredibly tense. Like just every time you see someone else, you're like, what are they gonna do? Are they and then, and of course you're gonna have the trolls and the people who are just flat out jerks who, well, like the guy we had earlier who's just kind of following us around, taking occasional shots near me, trying to egg us on. It's one of those ideas that, like Day One, like DayZ, like H1Z1, it can bring out the absolute best and the absolute worst in humanity very easily. It is enjoyable. It's tons of fun in there. There's good gear to be had. They get nasty. They get nasty in Dark Zone 6. Oh God, Frozone and I found that out real quick earlier today.
All the way up there?
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. You ever got in trouble in
they-
school and you didn't want like the principal to call your parents and you had that really bad feeling? Yeah, that.
And you still got your ass whipped.
Yeah,
It's that bad.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Crazy. I've never been to Dark Zone 6. Like, usually, I wanted to bring this up because it seems like a lot of the groups I go in with, they have this habit. And I noticed when I looked at the map, there's doors all the way up on the map, on the side of it. I think there's doors for 5, 6, 4. But every time I get into a group, we just hop into door 1. And then we, for some reason, could just go straight up, and I don't understand why we do it this way. But I didn't know that there was access to the other doors, and especially if you guys are up in Dark Zone 6, that's like, what are the enemies like? Are they 32 plus or are they 33? What's going on up there? Okay.
They're 32s. They're 32s. They're essentially challenge level mobs. I mean, I just put a full clip into a guy, and he's just like more or less laughing at me.
Yeah.
I was just, dear God, I was like, this is not how I wanted to die. And we got close. No, it was just Frozone and I.
It was a date.
That's crazy. I definitely want to.
Not the best date area.
To Dark Zone 6 sometime soon. Because I mean, we've had our 4 groups and stuff like that. Definitely, we have to pay attention to see what's going on up there. Because I haven't experienced the majority of the Dark Zone. But I want to say Dark Zone 1, 2, and possibly. And I've been getting decent gear out of 2 with the little format that Prophetic has put up for us. But I don't know, like, I'm a little afraid of going up there because are we talking NPCs are the problem? Are we talking rogues? Or is that where they're all at? Oh,
It was NPCs.
Okay, so it wasn't the rogues.
There.
Now,
probably because there's no rogues.
I've seen on my radar, even now, and since we've been doing this whole podcast, because, I'm running around the Dark Zone being retarded, but every time I'm seeing rogue pop up on my radar, it is in DZ6. So people are acting a fool up there.
They are up there.
Yeah, there are people acting a
I
fool
would
up there.
assume so, because gear reward up there. Oh man, that's gonna push some buttons up there. Alright, what was it? Pretty much we covered the majority of this game. How do you feel about the future of this game? Because I mean, the way I feel about it, I feel it's gonna get a little bit better, of course, because we're basically 1 week in. We've experienced the majority of the game. We've done the encounters, the dailies, the side missions. We've done the challenge modes. Everything now is more of a calm pace. I would like to actually see, DZ6, because that seems like it's going to be a challenge, along with the fact that there's rogues running around. That's going to be very interesting. DLC for the future, I'd really hope to see some more pop culture related stuff. Because we've seen Easter eggs where they had Ninja Turtles, they had the Watchdog Easter egg. We've seen think I found the guy from that movie. Crap. I Am Legend. It was like Fred or something. He was in the middle of one of the missions.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
you found Fred?
And oh my god, like that's Fred. Like, and I'm hoping to see some more pop culture stuff, either or our cosmetics or something like that, to give it more of an appeal to the game. As far as anything from like the excursions, I'm really hoping that's our weekly, and we get the raids later on, or maybe sometime soon. I want to say we're ready, but I don't think we're ready for raids, because I've seen what happened when we got into Destiny, and day one of raiding was the worst experience of gaming ever. But Frozone, what do you see for the future of this game? What do you think? What do you want to see?
All I want to see for the future of this game is for Ubisoft to not rest on their loins and just to say, you know what? We've gotten some pretty good feedback from the gaming community. People that are either loyal with us or people that were skeptical are playing our game. We need to listen to their concerns. Because all I'm saying is, as long as you listen to the community's concerns, you do the same thing. You pay attention to Reddit. You listen to your forums and all that kind of stuff, and you get a team on this stuff, and you make changes. We'll be around. We'll hang out. It'll be a successful launch. It'll be successful for the whole first year, and we'll be playing Division 2 in about 2 or 3 years.
I hope it's gonna be pretty successful. I think they have the year plan. That's what where they're going for at the moment. We don't know anything, of course, past that, because we need to see what's gonna happen now and see what's gonna be put in play. Templar, how do you feel about the future?
Honestly, it looks really good. I mean, they have a plan, so at least we know the immediate future and what they're planning on doing, and that was a very nice thing to do. Gamers, with something where this isn't this isn't COD, this isn't Battlefield, to where you can just go, well, we're building a multiplayer game and there'll be a community, but really it doesn't like be this game. We're not trying to build this like constant growing world type thing. It's gonna boil down to content and listening. I mean, yeah, and that's one downside, is they can't listen too much to everyone, because you know what? We're not game designers. We're the people playing the game, but I can tell you right now, about 95% of the people who are playing this game don't have a damn clue how this game's actually made. And trying to make, they have to make sure they temper everything they do with like common sense. Yeah, you're not going to be able to cater to everyone's need. No, they probably don't need to make the Dark Zone, make rogue, nerf the rogue penalties into the ground, so more people are like, oh, we all want to go rogue. Then they're going to change an entirely different dynamic and have to change things over again. But I think they're set for the right track, and they just have to stick with it. And that's going to be the tough part, is the sticking with it, because the sticking with it's going to cost money, and they're going to need people to keep playing the game, and they're going to look for alternate forms of revenue along the lines that kind of what games have to do. But if they can stick to their guns, they're good. They have a real good thing on their hands, and they should be able to maintain it for a while.
All right. Now, big question. We're definitely going to pan into this topic, because I noticed this is something that, for the most part, I thought it was good, but it's only good to a certain extent. We have played out the game, I want to say for the most part, the correct way. We went in, we did our little missions, we went in, we did our encounters, we did 5 missions, then we went into a mission, made sure we were ready to go in that mission, and then we moved on. It was a little pattern. Eventually we got to level 30. Some of us were pushed into certain missions that we were not supposed to be a part of, but we were able to survive. And I mean, it was challenging for the most part. We got our experience and we were out. I think most of us stopped off at like 26, 27, and we had to, pretty much get other like side missions or whatever to make up for the level 30. Now, I want to say for the most part, if you're playing the game correctly, the game's pretty legit, pretty, things cool. There's certain games that are out there that do certain things a certain way. And one thing that made the game interesting was the fact that if I jump into a lower level person's party, everything becomes 25. So now it's like I have to literally carry that person on my shoulder because they will get shot. And we actually got together, and we have Piximus here. Say hello. I think you're get to the mic. No, you gotta say it louder. Yeah, literally. Well, they can hear the laugh. But go ahead.
That can be heard
All
from
right.
orbit.
Well, she says hi. But we have Piximus here. She's not... I don't want to say she's not like a gamer altogether. She's a casual gamer. She tore it up in Diablo 3. But trying to get her into other games, it's been a little difficult because I'm the guy who goes into a game and I tear up the game. That's it. I'm not the guy who wants to enjoy everything. I'm the guy that's gonna go in there, gonna get to level max, and then I'm gonna enjoy the end game. That's where I pretty much fruit from. I don't know what's the word, but that's what I like. She likes to enjoy things. She likes to take things slowly. But we went through a situation where I think we just pretty much we brought her into a mission with us. It was the Russian consulate. And this was between, I think, me, Prophetic, and Frozone with Piximus. And it really felt like a mission where we had to do the actual mission, and we were carrying the cure of the smallpox virus, which was Piximus. Because she was level 6 when she entered this mission. I think when we finished the mission, she became level 12. The next mission got her up to level 15. That is, 9 levels? Altogether, that's a bit ridiculous, if you don't mind me saying. Like, yeah, seriously, like, and within an hour, she got 9 levels, and the 9 levels we tried to get took us about a day. Guys, how do you feel about the leveling mechanics in this game? Like, do you feel that that now it could get abused? Can it ruin the game?
I don't think it'll ruin it. It's kind of iffy because we pushed her off a cliff. We flat out went RGC Alpha Team. We were clearing rooms. It was great. It was a fun experience to do it because we had to communicate to get her through it, so that way it wasn't like a constantly going back. Because she held her own, first of all. It wasn't like we were really carrying per se. We were escorting. I think escorting is a proper term to use instead of carrying. So when we went through it, it was kind of just one of those. Man, I didn't think we'd be able to get her through, and then when we did get her through, got ridiculous levels. But she still has to put in work because even though she got that high, she doesn't have any gear. She doesn't have any guns. She doesn't have any gear. She doesn't have anything to really sustain herself the way we did when we got to level 15, 12 and 15. But it's just gonna take time for her to get there. So it's kind of I see both sides of it. I see the side of maybe we shouldn't be able to do that, but then again, it doesn't matter. Like even if the higher level goes in there, like you said, the enemy or whoever the tangles are automatically going to be leveled up to that higher level person. In certain games, the difficulty was kind of there, but your weapons grossly out leveled, whoever you were going up against. But in this game, it's more of whoever you're fighting is automatically, closer to your level. So it's just going to be harder on that person that you're carrying or escorting.
All right. Templar, how did you feel? Well, I mean, you weren't a part of the actual situation, but knowing the fact that, let's say, you could bring Set Friend to a couple of missions at the end of the game, and pretty much almost like guarantee half of a max character in like a span of we did it in 1 hour. How do you feel about the mechanics of that?
Power leveling is power leveling. It's been around in everything ever. I mean, we used to do it in Diablo 2, and you're like, hey, we're going to take you to Mephisto, and they're like, what? And then you just drag them in there and then start slaughtering bosses, and the person's like level 2, and they're picking up all types of crap. I mean, it exists. I don't. It's just a thing that's there. I don't have any problem with it because it's something I expected to see. The fact you can get 9 levels, yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's not a bad deal for the person getting power leveled. The people who are running them through get a little bit more work, and hey, that's it. You're done. But no, I have no problem with it. It's a fact of life when it comes to those type games. Anything that has any multiplayer game with a leveling system, there's almost always been a way to power level. Actually, with the exception of like say something like, well, no.
I want you to say it.
No, I'm trying to think like I'm trying to think if I'd even say like Guild Wars because so in games where you have a scaling level system, that's actually the ones where I'd say it gets a little bit harder. I mean, yeah, I could help you kill stuff because I can kill things a little bit faster, but you can't power level in the same rate to where hey, I'm going to take you somewhere where you really don't belong and you'll get more experience. I think MMOs have tried to steer people away from it, but non-MMOs like or loot-based action RPGs or shooters or like I said, Diablos, Borderlands, things where you can play multiplayer. You have levels and you have difficulties of stuff. I don't think power leveling would ever go away. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing either. Hey, it's a way for you to get a friend who bought the game 2 weeks later to be able to quickly get them up to your level so you can play together. I don't see a problem with that. My only thing I have with the Division on it is that scaling is brutal. And I mean very brutal. And that could probably be toned down a little bit, which I'm sure they do it to keep the power leveling from happening as much. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of not fair for, oh, hey, I want to play together, and then suddenly the things you're fighting are 20 levels higher than that other person. And that probably could be adjusted. Either give us the ability to adjust it on the mission itself, or maybe tone it down a little bit.
I definitely agree with the whole situation. I'm actually surprised that, we didn't get to see something of the nature of, if this person's here, they're not going to get much experience, but, they definitely hit her with the whole thing. They hit her with the entire experience bar. What was it in plus some? And it was ridiculous. But now I want to go into the part where, because, she's the casual gamer. She, has an opinion, obviously. So we're going to find out, what the casual gamer thinks of the Division. How do you feel about it? Are you...
I like it. I think it's a fast-paced. Here's somebody. But overall, I think it's like it. It's just I suck at it. Play it.
All right. That's pretty much what she feels about it. We're definitely gonna carry her through more. Well, let's put this the right way. We're definitely gonna escort her through some more missions later on, so we can get her to max level, and she could actually experience the game from the point we experienced it. Especially the Dark Zone. She feels that she's gonna be a threat to the public, and I don't know how that's gonna end, but we're willing to see that, and we're definitely gonna put those in the video.
I definitely know how it's gonna end. I'm gonna be really ballsy, and then y'all are gonna kill me.
Just everybody turns on her. But to wrap it up, there's a couple of things before I move on. There is a couple of things I wanted to see, and I seen something. Frozone, you're on right now, right?
I am on.
You know where that incursions point is on your map?
Yeah, I know where it is. It's in the south eastern portion of Manhattan.
So you've seen what it says, though. All right, there's a part of it that it actually made me think, and it's something I know it's gonna be like it's already gonna be an issue. I already know it's gonna be an issue when it comes up to grouping with certain people. They're gonna introduce gear levels, meaning what was it? We're gonna have that gear score type deal. I think we had the same thing. Was it sort of? But it was more like it was your level for the most part. Then we had light level in Destiny.
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
What was it? The gear score situation. I'm with it. I'm not gonna lie with you. I'm definitely an elitist when it comes to forming up that group. I feel like I've been a little more casual about grouping with people. Was it for the most part in Division because there wasn't no gear score. It was kind of, hey, it's a new game. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna, punch shit in, and we're just gonna do all this crazy stuff, and we don't know what's gonna happen. We're either gonna live, we're gonna die. We are going to experience the game firsthand and see what's gonna happen. I already know in the future it's gonna start getting more structured. There's gonna be certain people you want in your party. There's gonna be certain people you do not want in your party for both incursions, your dark zone. It's gonna be an issue. And I feel that the gear score is definitely going to affect it, but I'm definitely going to go on the side of I do want gear score. I want a way to know that, hey, that guy's ready to go with me, or at least I think he is, because, his number is there at least. So for the most part, I know he's going to be able to at least hold his own, and hopefully tactically wise, I hope he can do it. Templar, you're familiar with a lot of, gear level type stuff from a lot of MMORPGs that you've dealt with. So is Frozone, because you definitely came out of, was it Final Fantasy also? I'm not familiar with what other games that you played with. But, Templar, you're definitely going to take the floor on this one. How do you feel about gear score?
It's a good thing. It's something that does need to be there, especially since they're going to be having tiered encounters where you're all still level 30, but you need better gear for it. I mean, everything's done it. WoW has done it. There were some Final Fantasy has done it. Everything had some kind of way of saying, hey, yeah, this is max level gear, but this max level gear is a little bit better than the other max level gear. Now, in Destiny, they did it through the whole light level system, which in itself may or may not have been a good initial thing, and then was more of, I think they improved it a little bit better. The big thing with gear score people have a fear about is it kind of creates, prejudice towards players who may not be the optimum gear score, or what is more likely to happen, lazy players are like, oh, well, you can only come into this, you can only join our group if you have the score we want you to have, which is way higher than what this content is, because it makes it easier for us. I mean, that was Destiny LFG in like a nutshell. Hey, yeah, you can't join our Taken King raid unless you have, like, what was it, like, oh shit, I don't remember what light we were at. Yeah, you have to be 310. It's like, no, you don't need to be 310. That's stupid. You're stupid. But that's how people are, and that's what people do with any gear that had gear score. People used to do that shit in WoW all the time. Hey, you can only join if you have this high, and there used to be a mod that was called gear score before they included like item levels in game itself that calculated whatever your gear turned out to into your gear score. It's going to happen. Hopefully, with the way Ubisoft does it, is a little bit in the way how Destiny did it near the end. To where, hey, this is the recommended level. Hey, what's your gear score level? Oh, it's this? Okay, yeah, you're going to have a hard time in there. Because Division does so much already matchmaking systems in there, all it would really have to be is just a filter to keep people out of it. You're going to still run with your own groups. Gear score's not going to matter so much there unless, yeah, you can't get in. But with the actual, like, you grouping up with people, as long as you're not trying to group up with, people in some kind of, like, third-party way, like a Destiny LFG thing, and you're just using Ubisoft system, it'll probably work fine. I think it's an okay thing. It's a good way to tally if something is better sometimes if you're not 100% sure. Even though technically that might not be true all the time, it gives you at least a general idea. Um, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's like bad if it's only going to be bad for people if they're stuck with jerks who want gear score levels that are obscene.
All right. Frozone, how do you feel about gear score?
I don't want to take away from your feeling of being an elitist, but to me it's common sense. It's, hey, you need to have this minimum score from what it said of 150. So if you're below this 150 and I don't know you, I may not be feeling comfortable to bring you in here. So don't catch attitude if I don't bring you in here. Or if you're right there at 150 and I still don't know you, I don't have the 3 hours necessary to get completely through this with you if I don't know you that well. So, I might need you to like chill out. But as long as you present yourself well, I guess, I don't mind running in there with people, trying to figure out if I can make it through the content with you. I like it. I think it's a requirement. It kind of lets you know where you stand without actually, getting too elitist and being like, man, you don't have this one gun that I know is amazing and it wrecks, so you can't come. Like, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home type thing. So, and I don't like to be that guy, I like to be able to play with whoever I can, however I can, and even help those that are casual gamers, because I love casual gamers. But when you start getting into the realm of just completely eliminating people, it gets ridiculous. So I like the level. It's a good sense to help people know where they're at if they're not a nerd like me and us when it comes to these kind of stats. And
Must have Celestial Nighthawk and 7 Gallahorn.
Oh, that was it. I agree with you for the most part, but like I already know as like the whole elitist thing. I want everything to be perfect, especially the first day. Like if it's first day, like we already discussed this before, especially with RGC. It's all the good guys that are going in. We're not carrying, we're not escorting. Everybody that's going in has got to be somewhere along the lines up there. You know what I mean? Whether it be gear-wise, whether it be, tactical, or, we have Prof every now and then who runs that, the strat caller for the most part, right? We have those people within our group. As far as gear score, I'm looking forward to it because right now, if we look at it, it kind of feels a little off. Like just yesterday, some people just found out about the eye levels for certain weapons. And for some reason, it seems like a punch in the neck, the amount of difference that you see in these gears. Where it goes from another plus 100 or 200 points for just, firearms and a mod, compared from superior high end, and then high end into 30, and then 31. So I want to make sure that we know where we're at before we even go into some crazy shit and then just get destroyed and not understand why we're getting destroyed. So I mean, we'll see how that works out as far as incursions, introducing gear scores and whatnots. You mentioned Destiny LFG. I'm pretty sure out there is a Division LFG somewhere. I think I actually have something like that on Facebook, but I feel like it's not going to get the same love because Destiny's main issue in the beginning was that there was no matchmaking for these situations. You literally, for Nightfall, you had to find somebody. For the raids, you had to find people.
There was still no matchmaking. They never implemented it.
Matchmaking for Nightfall?
No.
No?
No. You can't.
It was just heroics.
Those kind of difficult things, they could go through it with random people that would just have you beating your head against the wall.
I could have sworn they did, but alright. But yeah, what was it? You had your matchmakings for certain things, and then in Nightfalls and you got your Nightfalls and your raids where there was no matchmaking at all. And it was kind of crazy because you sit there and it's like, how the hell am I supposed to get people? You had Destiny LFG, I think like the main one, and everybody was on there. But I kind of want to see an actual Division LFG because at least, you can actually get some good people. But that's where the elitist thing is going to come into play. When you actually either want to join a group or you're going to make your own group, however you do it, it's going to be an issue. Now, what I'm afraid to see, because I could do elitist where it comes to, that guy's good, he has the gear score, he's ready to go, or the light level from back in Destiny, he's ready to go. But what I don't want to see is the infamous situation where you're required certain things in order to play this game. We already have all the skill sets. You can unlock everything without a problem. There's no problem. But I'm afraid to see that, in these like LFGs or situations later on, that if you don't happen to have, like, let's say, for example, the Liberator, you're not coming with us. Or, for example, I feel like this is going to almost be the Gallahorn of the game right now. I haven't tried every weapon, though, but what is it? You have the pecan gun, right? It's easy to get for the most part. It's 500, I think, like almost 500k. And it rips through elites. And I'm not sure if, was it Frozone? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are the elites just the yellow ones, or is it the yellow and the bright yellow?
Yes.
It's just the yellow.
It's the yellow.
And that's the majority of your challenge mode. So you could rip through these guys without a problem and get away with it with this pecan. Like, literally, it's like butter. And I'm afraid that it's going to be something along the lines that you're required to have. Like, hey, you have to have the pecan or you're not coming with us. Or you have to have the Midas or you're not coming with us. How do you feel about the whole item branding situation? Like, I mean, I enjoy item branding for the part where it's, hey, I got this, and this is like a really good weapon, and it has a name. But as far as to get into a group, how do you guys feel about it? We're gonna go with Templar on this one.
It's gonna happen, and I usually didn't play with those people, so it is what it is. I mean, I could even have the item. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Nah. Because here's the thing, and this is all of it. One, if they make an item that's absolutely required, we'll go with the standard Gallahorn, that it was required to do everything, or required to do a lot of things. It's understandable. They created something that shouldn't have been like that, and that technically that mindset went away in Taken King. It's going to happen. People are like that. It's all it is the standard. People are going to try to complete something the easiest possible way they can. And if that's the crutch people want to stick with, then yeah, that's what they're going to do. And there's no way you're going to keep a community from doing that unless you don't make a gun or an item or whatever that's going to be that useful. I mean, you've seen shit back in Diablo days. There were certain rune sets that people are like, hey, if you're going to join our group for what we're farming, you have to have this. I mean, the shit's existed for ages. People are just going to be like that when it comes to games. And it's going to be up to the individual to decide, hey, are we going to mess with this crap or not? I personally don't, so I end up just blowing it off and going from there. But yeah, I mean, for the random gamer who doesn't really know anyone and hops in, yeah, it's gonna suck because it's gonna hurt their experience if it's something they don't have.
All right, Frozone, how do you feel about the whole branding with the items and bringing them into the full sets of what you need?
I share the same sentiment where it's just gonna happen. That's the way people are. But as much as it was happening with Destiny, the overwhelming majority that you got from a lot of people with the way the game was made was there were a lot of people that you were able to meet that weren't like that. There were so many more people you were able to meet that weren't like that didn't mind helping you through a raid, and it took 5, 6, 7 hours. They didn't care because they were more happy with finding those good people and sharing experiences and time with those good people. And that's what mattered more than finding those people with those guns, because they understood, okay, I don't have a Gallahorn, but there has to be a way for me to get this done without the Gallahorn. So let's go figure it out, guys. So that's going to happen as well. So yeah, you're gonna have the elite people, just like Templar said. You're not gonna run with them. I just won't run with them either. You'll just be on your own, and they'll run with their own little crew. But the casual gamers that are actually looking, I look for those guys because as long as they're willing to work for it and they're willing to listen, they're gonna get it. Because they're open to it and they're gonna get the tactic, whatever we figure out, and we're gonna push from there. So it's not gonna be a big deal in the end state, I think, because gaming in general is getting to that place where the better type of gamers who are just decent people are coming together more than your pricks and your elitists and your a-holes.
All right. I'm gonna do something real quick, and this is pretty much to see what's going on right now in the community of this is a website, thedivisionlfg.org. And even if you want to, if you're by your computers, guys, just go ahead and go into this site and, just take a look to see what's going on right now as far as this game is concerned. I'm going to try to see if I can share this window into the game right now, or into the stream. And I'm looking at, find groups and agents for the division. Most of them are basically Dark Zone or daily mission challenges. And some of them are basic. We have a need to message me. Looking for DZ group, the basic ones, the people that just want to get into a group. Then we have experienced players, and we already know that's going to happen. We need the people who already know. Here's a good one. Need 2 more running smart cover strat. So that strat is out there. It's all the way out there. But here's where it starts to get more interesting, where people are starting to put those locks at. We have a group here by Best Gangster. Hello, Best Gangster. Almost full high-end gear, looking for 100k DPS players to run DZ with. That right there is basically having, I want to say for the most part, that's where we have our gear level for now, is that whole thing with the DPS. Have to have over 100k in order to participate. If you don't happen to have that, you're not going to be able to play with us. I don't see anything. I see, people that are looking for groups that have their yellow gear mods ready to go, but nothing like I thought it would be, and nothing about the pecan. Actually, somebody's actually looking for somebody with 120k, but I don't see anything at all, which is actually decent for now. I mean, it is the first couple of it's the first week so far, but are you looking at
I see one that says, I see one that says looking for 2 more, looking to do Lexington, 160k DPS, 70k health, have similar skills, and have completed.
I didn't even see that one. Oh my god.
That's stupid.
That was wow. I mean, that was the one thing. It's like, oh, hey, you're looking for a group, and they're like, link me the achievement before you can join. So what they're saying is that we don't want to take someone new. We have to link the achievement before you can get in. And usually the people who are doing that had never done the shit themselves and were just looking for a carry. So, I mean, it's... that's the way LFGs are. I mean, Final Fantasy was the same way. You get just absolutely obscene requirements to do anything. Have to have cleared all of Final Coil before you can even join. But we're doing turn 5. All of Final Coil. My god.
Yeah,
Seriously, people.
That's the funny part about it.
It's nothing new. We'll see it for every other MMO that ever happens. And people are just like that. But yeah, you're gonna, for every terrible person, you're probably gonna find one that's the polar opposite. Hey, join our group. We'll take you through this. It'll be fun. It's an unfortunate thing for the people who don't have set groups, and that's the sad part about it. It's the people who don't have friends playing it, that's just their enjoyment, and then when they want to actually do this other content without them wanting, maybe they don't want to join a guild, maybe they don't want to join a clan, maybe they just want to kind of be their own person. In Final Fantasy, they're the role play warrior of light that's completely, they don't have affiliation to anything, and that's just the way they like it, but they wanted to see the other stuff. That they would get stuck getting bottlenecked by groups like that. It's something that is more apparent in the LFG side of things, but it's not it's not true of the entire community either. So, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised this actually seems quite a bit nicer than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it definitely does seem a lot nicer. Did you take a gander at it? Was it Frozone?
Yeah, I took a gander at it. Like I said, it's going to be a great tool for those people that find out about it and they're looking for people to game with, to get the things done because they don't have a core group like RGT to run with or, any other oil platforms. So it'll be used good for that. And then we're going to have our lab sessions with those people that are asking for $1 million and all this other ridiculous stuff as far as what they need of requirements to clear things because they don't have a concept of what's actually required. For the less than me personally, anytime you see a request, the more outrageous of what they think they need to complete it, that's how much less of a skilled individual they are. So that's personality, that's attitude, that's how they treat people, that's communication. All you have to do is say, hey, look, I've cleared this before, this needs help, I don't really suck, I just need some help.
Yeah, I highly agree with that. It's definitely going to be a good tool for the most part because, I've had times where I've come online and, Prof has already got that group going. They're already in their challenge mission. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do my hard dailies and, go on with it because I'm not going to use that matchmaking. But I definitely will be using this tool possibly tomorrow just to see how it's going to go. And I'm going to probably, see, for the most part what's going to happen. And I will give my input on that later on. Because, the tool looks like it works for the most part. You're a tool. But with the whole thing with the gear and everything, I'm actually hoping to see the gear score because it will definitely help out with that tool and, bring it more, structured for the most part. But I want to see what's going to happen as far as the future is concerned with this site. I'm hoping this is probably going to be the main site that everybody goes to and it becomes popular. But as far as gear is concerned, it seems easy to get. Apparently there was a situation where I think Dark Zone bosses was dropping like 15 a pop. But now they patched that up or whatever. I think they dropped like 1 or 2 now.
Yeah, I think so.
From what I've seen. But
yeah, I think I got 2 or 3 earlier.
I'm a little upset. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not one that likes to abuse things, but when the time is right, I wish I was there, ready to go for. I think it was like somebody was putting up a video and they already had the cap 1,000 Phoenix credits, and I'm like, I could barely get over 200 credits. Like, I'm always spending something here and there. I think we can get it like majority. I think it's 20 and then 50 at the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get the same bonus if we complete it. Like, if you already completed it, is it going to be the same bonus at the end, or are you just going to get more? I think it was like another 20.
I think you only get what you get. Like, you don't get the bonus again.
That's what I was assuming also. But pretty much we're gonna wrap this up. The big question here. We already all bought the game. Like, hell, Piximus has bought the game, and she didn't know what she was getting into. So we're definitely not going to be able to, judge it. But for the people out there that are, watching this or, happen to like take a gander at what's going on, is this game going to be worth it? Is this worth right now? Is it worth the $60 or well now it's like $34 if you do the GameStop thing? Is it worth the the time and money? And we're gonna go with Frozone on this one first.
I'm gonna keep this as short and sweet as possible. Go get the game. If you remotely like an RPG, a shooter, or anything, go get the game. There's something about this game, it's something about the way that it's done that you're going to enjoy. And then, even if you don't think that you like confrontation, you're going to enjoy the Dark Zone. And you'll understand why once you get into it.
Alright. And Templar, how do you feel about this? Because, like we said, like you were definitely the most skeptical person. Like I can remember days where I would bring up the division, and you were like, "That game's not even gonna happen. That game it's not gonna."
It didn't look like it was for a while.
You shut down the division so many times, and now you're in it. You're playing it. It seems like you're enjoying it for the most part. Yes, you are worried, but is this worth it? You know, for the other friends, family.
It is good, and yeah, I would say it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. I haven't bought the season pass yet. I'm holding out on that for maybe a little bit. I might end up buying it in the next week or so, depending on if we get any more information on stuff. Especially when they're trying to sell like perks off to us. That I'm kind of interested in how they're actually implementing that, because perks are kind of a part of your character thing. So, but either way, it's a very good game. It's worth the $60 for sure. Yeah, I can't think of anything else really like long and bubbly to say about it. It's good. It is a very good game, and they did a very good job. And Massive should take lots of credit because they really went out on this to create like just a very awesome gameplay experience, and something we haven't had. Well, I don't want to say ever, but in a while.
Yeah, Destiny has definitely let us down in that department. And I don't even think we heard anything Destiny related for March, and I thought there was supposed to be something in March. I thought.
So with the Destiny piece, the plan that they had is no longer. They scratched the rumored 2 extra expansions and they do something big later on this year, which is probably going to be a combination of the two, kind of like what they end up doing with the whole story anyway, with the Taken King, redoing the whole game and putting like 2 DLCs technically together. So that's pretty much what it looks like. It's going to be what we expect it to be, 2 different DLCs put together, and then that's that. And then might see Destiny 2 next year.
That's
Maybe, sort of, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm huge about Destiny. Like I literally put my all. When I tell you I literally put my all, I was hitting a little wall at sync, and I pretty much traded in every game I had for PS4 for Destiny. And within a year and change and plus some, it's let us down to the point where it was almost unplayable for a lot of us. A lot of us fell off. We ventured onto certain games. Some of us came back for certain events like the Iron Banner. That's something I can never give up. Iron Banner has been amazing for me, and apparently I think they fixed it like recently, so I want to go back. But right now the Division's definitely holding the floor on this one, at least in the versus department of loot-based shooters. And I don't know how they're gonna compete. I really don't. I don't see how we're gonna all just hey, let's go back to the Division. I mean, not the Division, but Destiny for set thing. I don't see anything happening anytime soon. I just honestly don't see anything happening for Destiny at this point. I don't see how we're gonna go back. I don't see what's gonna happen. I feel like the Division, for the most part, from what I've seen with Twitch, YouTube, even the PlayStation, what's it called? The PlayStation Live, when you stream on there, it's knocked off everybody. It's knocked off Call of Duty. It's knocked off Destiny. I'm pretty sure some of you've seen your friends list where it was like, everybody was on Netflix and a couple of other games prior to Monday night, but then Monday night half your list goes Division, and then the rest of it goes Division on Tuesday. So I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen with the future of the game. I'm pretty much gonna close this off, and I want to thank you guys for joining me in this first podcast, and I hope we have time to do more later on. I want to deliver this content out in a weekly basis, and most of it, I'm sorry to say, it's gonna be Division. It's not gonna be this long though. I can definitely tell you that. It's not gonna be this long. It's gonna be small stuff that we're gonna cover together as we experience, because we have me that gets obsessed with the game. We have Frozone here who, he sits and dives into a game like no other. And we have Templar who, he loves his gaming, but is always going to be skeptical of what's going to be around that other corner. What's Ubisoft planning to do with this great title at this point? And I want to bring a lot of content to the table upon the Division, and possibly, we're definitely going to expand on other things, obviously, and we're definitely going to expand on situations like the Dark Souls 3 that's coming out. That's definitely going to be a big thing between me and Templar. I don't know if Frozone's going to dive into that field.
I've been told that I'm
I
supposed
feel
to,
you
so
should.
You need
I want
to.
actually see how you get into it. But between me and Templar, we're definitely going to cover a lot of that randomness, and I'm hoping at that point Templar is actually streaming at this point. But
I will need to start with Dark Souls, so yes.
Start it off with Dark Souls, especially if you get that day off. Just do the 24-hour stream if you can. But
my God,
the Division,
How
it's a great game.
to start up a
you
heroin
gotta
habit.
Set it up, like you gotta get ready. The Division, I want to say off the bat, it's a buy. And the reason why I'm gonna say it's a buy without any type of reasoning behind it is because my main reason is if you're not in there on day one, you're gonna lose out on a lot of the experience, because by the time you actually do get in there within like the next couple of months, because you wanted to be skeptical about it, it's gonna skew on the gaming, especially games like this with RPGs. You have to be there day one so you can carry on along with everybody else, or you might get left behind, and then you might end up just getting picked up and carried, or escorted completely. But I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you guys. You guys can say your goodbyes. No, you're just gonna be.
go ahead, Tim.
Okay. Go buy Salt and Sanctuary. Seriously, people.
That's
Like,
another
anyone
one.
listening to this. Yeah. Indie game. Just got released. It's part of PlayStation's new, what do they call it? Something game. It's where they always have, like, a bunch of indie games they release within, like, a week at a time. The one this week is called Salt and Sanctuary. It's like a 2D Dark Souls. I played it for maybe like an hour and a half earlier, which I will have to start a new character with Syniax once he finally buckles down and gets it. Phenomenal. Yeah, I'm going to plug that real quick. Also, yeah, if you haven't gotten the Division yet, go ahead and get it. If you like RPGs or guns or RPGs with guns, you're pretty much going to be set.
All right. Cool. Pretty much that's it for the show. Definitely, if you liked it, and then this is on Twitch, hit that follow button. We're gonna do more content together. We're definitely gonna get something going. Things are gonna change up. We're gonna get this whole stream up and running. I didn't see too many active people tonight. I wanted to do the giveaway, but I pretty much gotten like an empty room for half the thing. So it's definitely not worth it at this point. But next week, we're definitely going to hold it down, and we're going to have a giveaway. And I hope there's more people. I hope there's more randomness to this chat, like there was the Destiny Iron Banner situation, which was ridiculously stupid. But if this is on YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button, and share it with your friends and family. We're up and coming people in the streaming world. We want to be known. Everybody, good night, enjoy, and have fun.